Okay guys, so I have been excited about this movie for a while. It's the return of Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my childhood action heroes, back in a movie directed by the guy who made The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. How is this movie? Is it fun? Is it awesome? Does it remind me of the good old Arnold Schwarzenegger days? Let's talk about The Last Stand. The Last Stand, as I said in my intro, is directed by the director of The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. This guy has an interesting visual style, and it definitely is apparent in this movie, in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a sheriff. And there's this escaped fugitive in a car, like the fastest car like ever apparently, who's coming down through the United States and is going to cross over to the Mexican border. The last stop between that Mexican border and this escaped fugitive is this little town that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a sheriff of. And he will not let that happen because, as you heard in the trailer, I know what's coming! That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Oh god, that was so bad. When you go into The Last Stand, there's something you have to understand. There are two different types of Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies that are good. He made a few clunkers, but of the good ones he made, you get these really epic, like science fiction, incredibly amazing, awesome action films, you know, like The Terminator, or Terminator 2, or Total Recall, or Predator. And then he has movies like Commando. Mindless entertainment to the 10th degree, completely preposterous, physics just out the door, gravity out the door. Everything about Commando is awesome though. The Last Stand is more like Commando. It is a 100% mindless action film. Guys have guns and they blow crap up. If you go into The Last Stand expecting the Oscar caliber turn from Arnold Schwarzenegger, you are going to be extremely upset. This is a big, dumb, corny, cheesy action movie, and it knows that 100%, and that's why I enjoyed The Last Stand. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about The Last Stand. It is exactly what it is, and it knows that, and it does it well. The film has a nice, impressive visual style. It's nothing remarkable. There are some really incredible shots in this movie, though. There's this one great shot where these guys are going down these wires from one building to the next, and then the camera pans down even farther into the street and follows these cops running. I was really impressed with that shot. And there's some pretty cool action moments in this movie, including a really cool car chase through these stalks of corn. That came up with some cool suspenseful ways to tell that scene. Now, how is Arnold in this movie? Okay, now this is the return of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He came back in Expendables 2, but this is his first fully starring role as a lead. How is he in this movie? Let me just tell you a little secret. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. There you go. You can't critique an Arnold performance because he has his own stamp on acting. You can't ever just go, man, he read that line wrong. Man, his accent really came through in that one, because it's freaking awesome. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there is some really great just feeling seeing that guy back kicking butt in the movie. Here you can tell that he is really invested in this movie, and he did a good job. Is his character like filled with depth and substance? No, not at all. You don't know much about him at all. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's a sheriff, and he's gonna kick some butt. And that's basically the entire depth behind this movie. But I will say this though, something I loved about this movie, and I can't believe I never actually thought of this ever in my life, but I love this. As Arnold says in this movie when he crashes through a door, he's old. He's getting up there, and this movie does not portray him as an invincible guy who he does everything perfectly. He gets beat to crap in this movie, and it takes him a long time to get up, and he's limping up steps, like holding the wall and everything. And at first I was like, wow, this is actually... I'm not used to this, because it was so cool to see him as more of a vulnerable action hero, because I'm so used to seeing him as these very invincible type guys. Seeing him limping around and struggling to get up, it kind of added a really nice touch to him as an action star, and I never really thought about that. It's cool to see him as this older guy, and he's not portrayed as some Superman guy. He has a hard time getting up sometimes in this movie, and it added a different sense of a layer to him as an action hero. The movie is cheesy and hammy. Some of the dialogue by some of the actors, which English is not exactly their native tongue, some of it's not delivered that well. There are corny moments. There are police chiefs who obviously don't have an idea of what it means to be a policeman. There are FBI agents who don't have any idea of what FBI regulations are. They say stuff that's obviously just movie dialogue. I would say that was like a really horrible negative thing about this movie if the movie was taking itself seriously, but since it's not, it is what it is. Now, one of the things I was really worried about in this movie when I saw the trailer initially was the inclusion of Johnny Knoxville. The trailer just had him in there so much, and I really thought he was just going to be this humongous presence and start to be really annoying and everything. And I don't dislike him as an actor, I didn't seem like he fit in with this movie. He was actually one of the more fun parts of the film, for sure. I enjoyed his character. He's basically this guy who has like a gun museum in the middle of nowhere, and he was a fun character, but he wasn't overbearing. He actually added a fun presence to the movie. Some could be really annoyed by him. I could see that happening, but I wasn't one of those people. Overall, The Last Stand is a big, cheesy, violent, dumb, entertaining movie, and it knows exactly that, and it's not trying to be anything else. I'm going to give it a B. Welcome back, Arnold. It is nice to have you back on the big screen. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.